Well, here we are again. You know, the whole Wicked franchise had like a crazy death grip on the entire world for the past year or so. I mean, like when the first movie came out, there was so much news about Ariana divorced her husband. She made this dude leave his wife and kid. Like, it was like a crazy time, you know what I'm saying? There's no way the second movie could top any of that.
You need to see Baby Girl. You need to see... What else did we go and see? I saw...
Oh, okay. See, I thought I was safe at this point. You know, things couldn't possibly get any weirder than last time, right? Right, guys? So where were you when you saw Cynthia pretending to breastfeed Ariana? Now, by this point, obviously, this is all old news, okay? Everyone's talked about this stuff way more than they should have the past couple months. So I'm not here to belabor the point too much, but like, you ever think back on these interviews, though? Just like a random Tuesday, your brain's just like...
Prestor, something's bothering her. She's gonna fix something, I know.
Sorry.
She's getting the fixing itch that Cynthia Erivo gets.
Okay, that's enough, brain. Thank you. But anyway, so Wicked, for good, came and went. I feel like it didn't really have as much staying power as the first one. And I mean, to be fair, with the actual musical too, like everyone talks about Act 1 and no one discusses Act 2. I think a lot of people don't even know that Act 2 exists, to be honest. But hey, now that it's like out, I figured I'd give it a watch. Now the movie's kind of broken up into two plot threads that intersect midway through, which means I get to make one of these for no particular reason. But before that, really quick, this video is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. If you've been on the internet in like any way at all recently, you know that your privacy is under attack. Every website tracks everything you do, what videos you watch, US ID laws, UK ID laws. In Europe, they're trying to make it so the government can read any and all private messages on any messaging app. And sure, in theory, this is all for the greater good, but all it takes is one lazy employee and one dedicated hacker, and all that information can be leaked to anyone. For this and many other reasons, if you use the internet, you need a VPN. And Surfshark VPN is the best of the best. Did you know that some airline ticket websites will charge you more depending on what country or even what city you live in? Like, you can search the same flight, but depending on where you're searching from, you'll get a different price. Well, with Surfshark VPN, you can change your location, shop around, and get the best deal without being swindled. Streaming rights are all over the place. Different countries have completely different, like Netflix or Disney Plus libraries. But with Surfshark, you can actually get your money's worth with all those streaming subscriptions that you keep paying for. For your safety, for your wallet, for your entertainment, whatever reason, you need a VPN. And if you're getting a VPN, you gotta get Surfshark. Go to surfshark.com/Meyers or use my code Meyers at checkout and you'll get 4 extra months with your subscription. They also offer a 30-day full refund guarantee, so you literally have nothing to lose, okay? Go to surfshark.com/Meyers and start protecting yourself today. Okay, back to the show. So approximately 1 year has passed since Elphaba defied gravity, and now we see Glinda and Fiero, who are like kind of a thing.
Tell us, Captain, how does it feel?
It's frustrating, but I became captain to find her, and I will keep on searching until I do.
No, being engaged.
We're engaged.
Surprise.
Boy, what a thing to just spring on someone, you know? It's like the opposite of what girls go through with situationships, you know, where it's like, we've had 3 pregnancy scares and you're still saying we're just friends?
Oh, yeah, you know, Glinda's just like a friend or whatever. Oh, no, honey, we've actually been engaged this entire time.
Fiero is now the leader of this, like, paramilitary group that's solely dedicated to hunting down Elphaba.
We both know who could and who has, and I have to find her, because if someone else gets there first,
I'm worried for her too. I miss her. Can't you see she doesn't want to be found?
So as you can see, since they both actually know Elphaba, they know that she's not really like what everyone's saying she is, but they have to maintain the status quo, of course, because they do. It's like in high school when people thought I was weird, but they just didn't know the real me, okay? Because turns out they had no idea. Anyway, so for Glinda's whole life, all she's wanted to do was be special, to be magical. But turns out she's actually just a frumpy-dumpy normal girl.
I'm obsessulated.
The wizard had it crafted especially for you. But don't fret over your inability to produce any actual magic. This invention will disguise your deficiency.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Hey, you're like really hot and funny, but you got weird elbows, so here, put this on. Aw, man. Like, okay, so I'm like the 4 millionth person to talk about how skinny everyone is, right? And like, I'm not even here to comment on how Ariana or Cynthia look specifically, but more just like, so the past like 10, 15 years or so, Hollywood's been all about body positivity. We want more normal looking girls in movies. Everyone's criticizing runway models for being too skinny. It was a whole movement, right? And then as soon as like Ozempic or whatever comes along, being fat becomes a choice, and suddenly everyone's choosing to be as skinny as possible. So like, the heck was any of this even for? Were you all championing body acceptance because it was just marketable at the time? Is that how cynical everything is? But all the same, so now Glinda is like full good witch mode. She has her flying bubble, she has her scepter that does nothing, and she's set to be married to the captain of the guards. She's the face of everything good in Oz, opposing Elphaba, who's like the bad girl.
I hear she has an extra eye that always remains awake.
I hear her soul is so unclean, pure water can melt her.
What a weird thing to say, especially since like this is Munchkin Land and Elphaba is a Munchkin. So like, why is everyone acting like they didn't know her just like 2 years ago? But anyway, so this brings us to the other character of our story. You know, the gap between how cool Elphaba is and how freaking weird Cynthia is crazy. Like, there's gotta be an alternate reality where she adopted this personality and just walks around like a leather biker jacket and cool braids instead of looking like she spends her time terrorizing the Smurfs, you know what I'm saying? Also, slight tangent, but like, why is every scene in this movie crazy backlit? Half the movie has the sun glaring behind like everything. And I know it's all green screen, so like, why did you choose to do this? Anyway, so as per the events of the last movie, Elphaba has now been exiled and villainized. The wizard and Madame Morrible specifically have convinced everyone that she's the reason why any and all bad things happen.
Citizens of Oz, there have been 12 tide turns since the Wicked Witch of the West escaped with our grimoire. Shield your children. Trust no animals. She will be eliminated.
Now, while this is all going on, we see Elphaba's sister Nessa has become like the new leader, ruler, whatever, of Munchkin Land because their dad died like some time ago. And so it's just her and Bach leading the people.
Oz only knows how I'd have coped with all of this without you.
Glad I could be there for you. I think it's time I moved on.
And so it's just her leading the people. So at first Nessa's like, yeah, sure, whatever, fine, break up with me, see if I care. But then turns out she actually kind of cares a little bit.
What?
All Munchkins are forbidden to leave Munchkinland without express written permission of the governor. She insisted it go into effect immediately.
So now Bach is trapped in Munchkinland. Nessa is full dictator mode. She's doing everything she can to stop Bach from leaving her because she's convinced herself that being in a wheelchair means that no one could ever possibly fall in love with her.
Perhaps a friendly game of cards once I'm done working?
Whatever you say, Madam Governor.
I asked you to call me Nessa.
Who has the best girlfriend ever?
I do.
Who just bought you all this stuff?
She did.
And all the stuff?
My girl bought all of it, and I'm about to eat.
Now, soon after this, Elphaba goes to visit Nessa. For what reason? Who can say? But there she is, just as backlit as can be. But turns out Nessa also blames Elphaba for like everything bad in her life too.
I want to go back to the way we were at school that night when Bach told me I was beautiful. It's the first time I ever wore these shoes. There was music, and everything was still possible.
See, now, this is why peaking in high school is a bad idea, okay? I mean, like, if I could go back to high school, I would simply not do that. Anyway, so Elphaba feels bad about whatever she did, apparently, and so she does, like, a spell to make Nessa fly. And then Bach comes in because he wants to tell Nessa that he's leaving one way or another because he just found out that Glinda is getting married. And this is his last chance to tell her how he feels.
My leaving here tonight.
Leaving?
The moment when I read Glinda's going to be wed to Fiero, and I've got to go appeal to her.
And like, hey, apparently this was her type, so, you know, goofy-looking redheads, follow your dreams. Try asking out the girl at the mall again. 15 times the charm, they say. Also, like, what is it with dudes and reaching out to girls, like, years later? Like girls will be, like, 32, and some dude they went to high school with 15 years ago will be like, hey, remember that one thing that happened junior year that I still think about for some reason? Anyway, how low are your standards these days? Now, as you might imagine, Nessa is a little perturbed about all this, and she tries to do a spell from Elphaba's book, which, like, I'm sorry, but but so she can read the book too? Wasn't the whole point of the first movie that only Elphaba could read it? Like, am I missing something here? Anyway, so she tries to do a spell to like capture Bach's heart, but it doesn't work out. And so Elphaba has to step in to do whatever she can to fix it.
He's sleeping now.
What about his heart?
It's all right. He won't need one now.
I mean, yeah, apparently not. But then, like, the scene when Bach comes out of the room is so crazy.
It's all right, dearest. You just...
It's like, wait, why does he do that? My dude, just open the door. I love how Elphaba turns him into this to stop him from dying, but also gives him an axe, you know, just because. You know what this heartless automaton needs is a bladed weapon. Anyway, so Elphaba leaves to go see the wizard again to finally put a stop to all this wicked witch nonsense. But first she goes to say a little something to her old pal Glinda.
Elfie, thank Oz you're alive.
Careful, your dress.
Okay, so I know I just said a whole bunch of stuff about like Ozempic or whatever, but if you're just looking at like her face and her head right here, right? Like Ariana looks so pretty right here. I don't know if it's just the makeup or the hair or what, but you know, she could really have a career in show business one day. Anyway, so Elphaba goes to see the wizard.
You know, you could have just exited normally. Just use the door. Hello?
Yes?
It's my wedding day, and you cannot refuse a wedding wish. Well, you can, but it's rude.
Now listen, you and I are gonna go down there together, and you are gonna admit to her guests that you have no real power.
And then, would you believe they sing a song and do a little dance where they do like the Titanic swing around thing? And by sing a song, of course, I mean that Glinda and Elphaba sing and dance, and then Jeff Goldblum is just like there. Just like with the first Wicked, like, I don't know if Jeff Goldblum even knows they're making a movie right now. I think he just showed up on set. Also, what a crazy slap in the face it is to make a movie about one of the biggest Broadway musicals of all time, and like half the cast can neither sing nor dance. Anyway, so they all come to some sort of understanding.
No more blaming the animals, and the ones who've left Oz should be free to return without fear.
Hey, with you by my side, I'm not gonna need to blame the animals anymore.
You're not gonna need spies either, so set the monkeys free.
However,
after letting the flying monkeys go, the head monkey guy shows Elphaba that the wizard has not only been demonizing animals, but he also locked up all the animals that resisted him. And this is when Elphaba fully realizes that the wizard is really, truly nothing but a dirty con man.
Elphaba, some animals cannot be trusted.
Yes. I know that now. Run.
And so Elphaba lets all the animals go and makes a huge scene. Glinda's wedding is happening at the same time, and it gets ruined by hilarious zany animal antics. So Elphaba's going after the wizard, but the guards are on their way. And this is when Fiero catches up. Finally, he has the witch in his sights. Finally, it's time to do his job.
It's unpleasant. Well, I think my trachea is other what? What are you doing?
Shush, you get in.
What?
Get in.
Bwah. Turns out Fiero's actually been in love with Elphaba this whole time. He never really loved Glinda, and he never wanted to catch the witch. It's all been a ruse. All men do is lie. And so they lock up the wizard, and Fiero runs away with Elphaba, leaving Glinda surrounded by the detritus remains of what was supposed to be the happiest day of her life.
You deserve each other.
You frightened me. For a while there, I thought you changed.
I have changed.
Yeah, I mean, I used to use 3-in-1 shampoo, but now I use 5-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, body wash, WD-40, Monster Energy. Then Fiero and Elphaba run away together back to Elphaba's secret treehouse, and they end up doing the
Devil's Tango.
And like, this is how you know his love is true for sure, okay? Because just imagine what Elphaba must smell like living in this treehouse for a year, okay? Not even her lucky smashing coat can cover this up, all right?
What is it?
It's just, for the first time, I feel wicked.
Oh, she said the name of the movie! So this brings us to the final chunk of the movie, which is where the wizard and Madame Morrible want to force Elphaba out of hiding. So Miss Morrible summons a huge tornado that brings this like mysterious house and just drops it right on Nessa. And with this house comes the young girl who only consumes black coffee and 80 cigarettes a day. And Glinda gives her Nessa's shoes and tells her to go see the wizard. You may have heard this story before. And would you believe Elphaba has a few opinions about all this?
Oh, Nessa. Forgive me.
You know, this part is so weird. Like the part where Nessa is dead and like they're sad for like 8 seconds, and then they have like a weird Power Rangers fight. Like this is the craziest tonal shift I've ever seen. And they're like slapping each other, which like I've seen Cynthia's hands, okay? Ariana's taking this like a champ.
I almost had her. I almost had her.
Sorry it took us so long to get here, you goodness.
You were a part of this?
Elphaba,
I can't believe you would stoop so low as to use my sister's death to capture me.
Now, right at the last second, Fiero shows up, still stumbling through his refractory period, and he basically offers himself up in place of Elphaba. She then runs off to her shadow castle of awesome, and this is the final straw. She's been trying to do good, but it all backfires in her face. Like, Bach is cursed, Nessa is dead, Fiero's being tortured for helping her, and so she casts a spell to make him, like, feel no pain or whatever. And then she vows for real, for serious, to become the wicked witch that everyone thinks she already is. Thusly, we come to the end of the movie. Elphaba has captured Dorothy and puts her in, like, the cellar place under the floor, you know?
Oh, for Allah's sake, stop crying. I can't listen to it anymore. You want to get home and see your aunt, what's her name again? Then get those shoes off your feet!
And then Glinda just kind of shows up somehow. Like, she just, like, knows where Elphaba is right this second. Although, okay, you know, to be fair, like, I suppose that giant castle of darkness is probably kind of hard to miss, you know what I'm saying?
You're the only friend I ever had.
And I've had so many friends. But only one that mattered.
Yeah, Big J upstairs, am I right? So then they sing about their eternal friendship and quasi-sapphic love for each other, all the while Dorothy is just there under the floor. Like, she can hear everything they're saying, and she just pops out and kills Elphaba anyway. Yeah, take that. Friendship is gay. So after all is said and done, Glinda finds this little green bottle that was left behind when Elphaba melted, and she realizes that this is the same kind of bottle that the wizard keeps drinking out of. And then suddenly, it all makes sense.
But I do have something else that belonged to her. It was a keepsake. She told me herself. It belonged to her mother. Elphaba was yours all along. That's why she had such power. She was a child of both worlds.
Wait, I'm sorry. There's so much to unpack here. Like, why would her mom keep this as a keepsake? Like, to remember cheating on her husband by? And so Elphaba has magic powers because she's a child of both worlds. So who the heck is Madame Morrible then? Also, what's the point of this twist? It's the end of the story. What am I supposed to do with this information? And so the very, very end of the movie, we find out that Elphaba did not die, just like Tiny Tim. And this was all just a trick she devised with Fiero so they could run away together.
You're beautiful.
You don't have to lie to me.
Yeah, you know, okay, you're right. You do look really freaking weird. But apparently that's irrelevant. Also, like, I know this is only like the 8th least believable part of this movie, but like, when could they possibly have made this plan together? Like, they didn't see or speak to each other since before he turned into a scarecrow. So like, when could any of this have happened? But all the same, then they sneak out of Oz and run off to wherever this goes. That's more or less the end of Wicked: The Good. Yeah, you know, there's a reason why no one ever talks about Act 2 of Wicked, because, like, it doesn't make any sense. Absolute gibberish from beginning to end. This movie is a lot darker than the first one, which is cool, I guess. But, like, if you've ever seen the stage show, it's like you watch Act 1 and you're like, wow, this is so fun and interesting. And then you watch Act 2 and you're just sitting there like, huh? But you know, as with the first movie, if you're a big fan of Wicked and you want to hear your favorite songs being sung really well with cool visuals, then this is probably like a 10 out of 10 for you. But as like a movie, like a story with characters who do things, it's just kind of woof.
Making the movie with Ellie. Now the helicopters are coming after me. He tapped my fingers upon my dome. Why are my nails 6 inches long? I thought it was just another movie, but now the semi-damn you're open poly. Why can't we just be in love? because I'm not SpongeBob. Oh, Ariana, please just let me in. I can do anything better than he ever did. We've got tattoos and we always kiss, and we literally can't stop doing whatever the heck this is. Oh, 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 I'm not SpongeBob. Oh, oh. Oh, sorry, let me fix my septum real quick.